Los Angeles, but financial concerns aren't the only reason families choose not to step forward.
There's a tremendous amount of estrangement in America among family members as well. So a cousin or a nephew or maybe even a brother says, I haven't spoken to so-and-so in decades. And maybe there was a reason for that, so some kind of falling out, and they don't want to claim. Or maybe they feel like, I feel too disconnected. I don't really know this person anymore. I don't want to take on this tremendous responsibility.
Prickett says she's even heard of family members purposefully not claiming a body as a form of revenge. Regardless of the body's status, all death is usually handled by a medical examiner or coroner's office. Los Angeles has an additional third office of decedent affairs that executes a thorough investigation to locate legal next of kin. Prickett says investigators use websites such as Ancestry.com to locate living relatives. With all the technology and social media available today, authorities are able to identify all but a dozen or so people out of the 1,600 deceased that are unclaimed every year.
Death scene investigators, if they're called out to a scene, they'll go through the apartment or the location of the death. They'll look for the personal effects of the person who has died, right? They're going to look for all kinds of signs of some kind of communication, right? Looking through phone, looking through letters, and try to identify who their next of kin could be. They then back at their offices have just a variety of databases, law enforcement databases, legal databases, financial databases that they can search to try to find who would be relatives or known associates. The people in the medical examiner's office will then call basically anybody they can find who might have known that decedent and ask them questions and try to identify, can we find who the legal next of kin is, the closest living relative, and talk to them. So it's a very thorough investigation. I mean, there are times in which they'll spend months and months looking.
But when the next of kin are found, they have no legal obligation to pay for a burial. However, the medical examiner's office will often try to compel them using various tactics.
One of the carrots that the medical examiner coroner's office has to try to compel families is the death certificate. So in order for families to be able to go to a bank and claim assets or get access to different financial and material resources, they'll need a death certificate. And so they can hold off on that death certificate until somebody's claimed, although at some point they have a limited number of spaces in their crypt, and they're going to have to get the flow of bodies going. The problem is that once the body is at the medical examiner coroner's office, if a family doesn't step up to claim or cannot, the body is already in the facility, right, of the medical examiner coroner, so something has to be done. We can't have bodies, linger for years.
Fortunately, every once in a while, authorities will contact next of kin who are overjoyed to claim the body of a long-lost relative. Prickett remembers a story of two sisters who were given up for adoption because their mother was mentally ill and couldn't care for them. When their mom died, the daughters were no longer legal next of kin. But because they showed up in records as blood relatives, the authorities were able to contact them.
Those two women, adult women now, her daughters, went to court to be able to claim the right to bury their biological mother.
Prickett says there's no centralized database that provides the identity of unclaimed bodies across the U.S. Large jurisdictions, such as Los Angeles County and Cook County in Chicago, maintain their own lists of unclaimed bodies. It's sad to think so many thousands of people die every day with no loved ones to care for them at the end of their lives. But Prickett says they are the exception to the rule. More often than not, families do step forward. Their book, The Unclaimed, is available now wherever books are sold. You can find out more about the research and all of our guests by visiting our website, radiohealthjournal.org. For more behind the scenes, follow Radio Health Journal on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This segment originally aired in September 2022 and was written by Polly Hansen. Our lead producer is Kristen Farah. Our production manager is Jason Dickey. I'm Greg Johnson.
Credits to you all.